Hello everyone, in this particular case I'm demonstrating Toric IPCL in both the eyes. IPCL, as you know, it comes in various powers, right, from -1 diopter to -30 diopters, and from +1 diopter to 15 diopters in zero point 0.5 diopter steps. So the loading of the IPCL is very simple. The IPCL has to be loaded in the butterfly cartridge. The leading haptic has a notch which should be kept towards the left side, and there are some holes which are kept under the brow. So marking 0 to 180-degree axis, the IPCLs are smart toric lenses. Irrespective of the patient's cylindrical power, the lens has to be should be put in 0 to 180-degree axis. So after marking the 0 180-degree axis, the entire surgery is done under topical anesthesia. The patient is quite like he's uprolling his eyes a lot, but still I'm so after injecting the oculan, which is the 1% lignocaine solution, to give some topical anesthesia to the patient, I injected cohesive viscoelastic in the anterior chamber. I like to do the surgery under the cohesive viscoelastic as it is very easy to remove at the end of the surgery. So here you can notice the injection of the IPCL in the anterior chamber. As you can see, the leading haptic has a notch, has a knuckle, which is there towards the left side, and there are holes which are under the brow region. So with the manipulator, you just have to tuck in the uh, haptic pads of the IPCL. So it's very easy to tuck in, and it goes in very easily. Uh, so you have to again manipulate and see whether the haptic pads are really under the iris or not, because sometimes if it remains unfolded you will get a very wrong vault on day one. So again in trying to get those haptic pads under the iris. So after doing it, yeah, so you have to just rotate the IPCL to make sure that it is in 0 to 180-degree orientation. So what I like to do is I like to flush some visco out of the anterior chamber with injection of BSS in the AC. What it does is it prevents the fluctuations in the anterior chamber, because the if there are very erratic fluctuations in the anterior chamber, it can lead to retinal detachment later on. So but you need to wash all the viscoelastic out. So after washing the viscoelastic, you just have to seal the incisions. So after sealing the side port incisions on both the sides, complete. So after completing the one eye, I'm progressing towards the second eye. The second eye is again marking the 0 to 180-degree axis. As you can see, the patient is uprolling his eyes a lot. So maybe he is under anxiety. So he there again I'm trying to calm the patient down, and I'm asking the patient to look down. So retroillumination again helps. Retroillumination can lead to a lot of patient comfort. So making the side port incisions and injecting the oculan in the anterior chamber. So oculan gives the anterior a topical anesthetic effect in the anterior chamber. So when you are manipulating iris, or maybe whenever there is iris touch, so a patient doesn't feel much pain. So smearing the cornea with viscoelastic HPMC, it gives a lot of it can clear out a lot of things, and you can see that the anterior chamber details became much clearer. So again, making the side port, making the main incision, and after the making the main incision, I'm injecting HPMC here. Doing this surgery under the HPMC influence, and the HPMC is also a viable viscoelastic option for you. So again, as you can see, the patient is up rolling his eyes a lot. So I'm trying to, with one hand, I'm placing my phaco rod in the in one of the side ports, in the left side port, and trying to stabilize the eye. And now I'm injecting the IPCL. As you can see, the IPCL unfolds, um, is unfolding, um, like from top to bottom. It is unfolding, rather the other way around. And what you have to keep in mind is that the IPCL should be, the leading haptic should have a notch or knuckle or whatever you want to call it. As you can see, I'm not able to appreciate. If you're not able to appreciate, and that notch or knuckle is at the optic haptic junction. So if you manipulate the IPCL, then yes, now it is visible. Now that knuckle is visible, and with the gentle manipulation with this instrument, you can position those haptic pads well inside, the and well inside the iris, in the sulcus. Now again, manipulating, because the nasal pads are tucked well, but still the temporal pads are still out. So again, manipulating and pushing those pads beneath the iris. So it's very important to, sometimes the visibility can be compromised, and there can be an obscure visibility for the surgery, but you have to ensure that those haptic pads are well inside the iris margin, iris. Otherwise, it can lead to false vault on day one, and you might have to repeat the surgery again. So yeah, so it's not a good idea to touch the optic here, but yes. So after completing the surgery, and so after ensuring that the IPCL is in correct orientation, the next step is to wash the viscoelastic out. The meticulous viscoelastic removal is very important, because if the visco is left inside the anterior chamber, sometimes the visco gets trapped beneath the IPCL. So in the toric IPCL cases, the IPCL rotates, and the patient can have visual difficulties on post-operative day. Here, I'm using coaxial IA to wash the visco. So after the visco removal, you just have to seal the side port incisions and the main incision, and the case is over. Thank you.